Very pleased not to be joined here at SB Nation by the one and only the dashing, the debonair. You know him, you love him, one of the best golfers in the history of the world and the future, for what it's worth. It is Maverick McNealy. Mav, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thanks. Wow, that's an intro unlike any other. I'm blushing.
A tradition, unlike any other, is a more common expression in your line of work. But I'll take that, if I can. I want to start with the most important thing. Congratulations. It's been a very hectic few months for you, obviously. And my son is 4 years old, and he's actually born on November 24th, which is a special day for you, a couple
Yeah.
years ago now. But when I became a dad, I got super into smoking meats. And based on some of your Instagram follows, it looks like you're kind of wandering down that path.
Well, yeah, I mean, cooking food and cooking food and flying airplanes. I gotta say, those are my two passions. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. All the cliches that parents say about parenting have rung more true than I could ever imagine. That's for sure.
When my wife was pregnant, everybody said being a dad is the best thing ever, and they were all right.
Mhm.
I don't know a single instance in life where every single person's opinion on something was correct, but that's one. I think you can agree.
Yeah. Best thing ever, the hardest. Your life will never be the same. The days are long, but the years are short. They change so fast. I mean, you could never love something more. It's all so true, but you don't understand it until you do it.
Yeah, you played all the hits there. You mentioned your flying skills, flying prowess. That's a big talking point, obviously, when it comes to you. How has that changed with a child now? Because I imagine it was probably easy for you and your wife to just like hop in, even going from
Mhm.
tournament to tournament, but now you have to pack a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm not flying as much. I'm not really flying myself to tournaments, but it's definitely something that if I have a chance to sneak away and go do something for me, that's what I would choose. But yeah, definitely number one priority is dad. Number two priority is work, and that flying has been pushed down to priority number three. So, but it's still something I love, and I come back with a smile on my face every time.
Well, work is going well. Last week was solid for you, to say the least. Congratulations on your efforts there, and certainly looking forward to the next couple of weeks. The wind was such a big focus last week, and you
Mhm.
were on record in noting that you feel like you can manipulate it to your advantage. And to the everyman golfer, that is probably the most frustrating thing that a
Mhm.
professional can say, just because that is like our kryptonite. I'm curious how that works for you. If and maybe your understanding and processing of aviation maybe even helps from a physics dynamic standpoint, if that makes sense.
Well, I will say this is my job. It is my job to hit good shots in the wind. I don't think I'd host as good a podcast as you, and but everyone's got their area of expertise. But I everyone's got to play in it, so you might as well have a good attitude about it and use it to the best of your abilities. And controlling the height of the golf ball really matters. The higher you hit it, the more it's going to curve. If you hit it low, it's going to curve less. It'll travel further into the wind. So just really being able to vary the trajectory and then tilt the spin, swing left to make it curve right, swing right to make it curve left, things like that. It's stuff you learn. Dialing in the correct golf ball to be able to curve the right amount also really matters. So there's little bits and pieces there, but there's a couple guys that did it better than me last week, but I'm still pretty happy with my first week back.
You should be, and very much looking forward to Pebble Beach coming up. I played there. It's a big deal for
Mhm.
the common man to play there.
Mhm.
Obviously, played there back in March. And look, hole seven is a dream. It's the greatest physical spot on earth.
Yeah.
But I'm a natural slicer, and it was a very windy day,
Uh-oh.
and it was a very, yeah. I mean, like, look, I was there with my parents. We were celebrating my dad's retirement. Like, I will forever hold it near and dear to my heart. But like from the moment, I mean, I before I even finished my swing, it was gone. It was in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yep. Yeah.
that's a hole that like you almost don't care if that happens to you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I still get super excited every time I'm on the first tee at Pebble, just knowing what's coming later in that round. And it was special for me. It was my 16th birthday present to get to play there for the first time. And I say any day that you have a shadow at Pebble Beach is a bucket list day. And we
Mm.
can we can get some dodgy weather sometimes that year every once in a while. But if you've got a day where you have a shadow at Pebble Beach, there's nothing that could beat it. That would be my last round on Earth, and that's one of my favorite tournaments ever for that reason.
That's a great way to put it, certainly, from the shadow perspective. I'm going to
Hmm.
steal that
Hmm.
and not give you
Yeah,
any credit.
perfect.
Just so we're clear.
You got it.
I'm very much. This is a very special tournament. It happens. I also cover the NFL around the Super Bowl, so it's just kind of like an awesome time of year. And you're obviously going to be teeing it up. You have a new bag that
Hmm.
is. I'm looking at this right now. This is Maverick McNealy through and through in every way, but it's also Pebble Beach through and
Hmm.
through, if that makes sense. It kind of lines up with all the elements.
Totally. I mean, AT&T is awesome. They make really cool bags for different occasions, some of the major championships, and they do it for the AT&T Pebble Beach every year. And this one's cool in that, one of the most special parts about being a PGA Tour professional is that the tour gives back in every community that we play in, and donates a ton to charity every single year, and we get to feel like we're at least a part of something that is making a difference in these communities. And this bag highlights all of the charities that the AT&T and Monterey Peninsula Foundation and the tournament have supported over $250 million to date, given back to the community, which is amazing, and it's really cool to be able to do something that I love, but also feel like we're making a positive impact and a part of something bigger than us.
That's wonderful, and really what it's all about.
Mhm.
Obviously your success, and we're rooting for that. But I think that's why people love this event so much, is it touches so many different points in that perspective. I'm curious, as someone who probably goes through, I don't know how many bags in a given season, from a pragmatic sense, what's the first thing you look at? Like, is it the position of like that? That's what I've thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I would look at the position of pockets. I know you're not necessarily handling things, but some things would probably be better or slightly less awesome, if that makes sense.
Well, my brother's my caddy, so the first thing I do is load up a couple bricks in the bottom. But
Right. Sure.
I mean, honestly, the pockets are all in the same spot, but golfers we ride a thin line between superstition and routine.
Sure.
Uh, Superstitious things become routine, routines become superstitious. It's very much a gray area. So I always put the exact same things in the exact same pockets in every single golf bag. And so the process of moving over all of my stuff is very methodical, pocket by pocket, item by item. The clubs all go in the same divider on each single bag. It's so I know where everything is at all times. That's the pragmatic sense. But if I make a bogey because my rangefinder's on the wrong side of the bag, maybe that was the reason. Who knows?
I think that that's the way it should be done. When I was in high school, I would color code my closet, and I had friends that were like, "This is so stupid." I'd
Yeah,
just tell them like, "What are you talking? Like, I save so much more time than you do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
why would you not want your life to be organized? You know what I mean?
yeah. And why wouldn't you want to have exactly 13 quarters in your golf bag?
Is that a thing? I mean, like, that's
Yeah.
something you should offer a detail on if that's.
Well, I have 13 quarters and they're all Nevada quarters. And I live in Las Vegas. And but there's a pragmatic sense too. I always use a quarter and a dime to mark my ball. A dime if my ball is going to be, or my mark's going to be in someone else's line or path, so it's just
Oh my
smaller.
gosh, this is awesome.
Um,
Oh, and it's also courteous. That's
it's
I
courteous, yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah.
exactly. It's also a silver dime from 1995, which is my birth year, which is kind of cool. And then I've got another packet of 12 Nevada quarters, but that makes sense because the putting drills I use require 12 quarters. So it's slightly superstitious. 13 is my favorite number, but also very practical.
See, I know you're having fun with this. I would argue that it's not superstitious at all because you mentioned it at the very beginning and noting this is your job, and so
Yes,
it's literally your profession. Like, so
totally.
this is literally it's like it's akin to getting to the office and opening your computer and opening the same applications type thing, just in your world.
100%. It's that my brother carries my office on his back. So I want everything exactly where it is. You know, really cool bag to really cool bag. Everything's going to be in the same spot.
When you approach something like Pebble that you love so near and dear and that holds such a special place in your heart, you mentioned your 16th birthday, and it is a mecca for so many different people. How do you separate that from when the tournament begins? Because again, when I'm out there, it's just like heaven every single step, every moment the shadow is being cast to your point. But you have to lock in and bust out the quarters and dimes and actually go to work.
Totally. I mean, I would say 95% of the time, that's where I am also. I don't say that golf, at least for me personally, I don't focus for 7 hours straight. That's just not really sustainable at the level that we need to hit these golf shots. It's more of a switch, and golfers have to be really good at flipping that switch on and flipping it off. And, you know, take a tournament like the Phoenix Open where there's distractions everywhere.
Right.
You just have to have a really strong switch. And I was like, all I need is 10 seconds of focus to hit a good golf shot, and then I flip it off. So at Pebble, 10 seconds, hit a great golf shot, flip it off, enjoy the view.
I love that. Okay, so this is a weird question, and I mentioned I cover
Okay.
the NFL,
Yeah.
but I definitely want to ask you something that I assume you've never been asked in the exact same way. A lot has been made about you, how smart you are, and it's very clear and very evident. So congratulations, you're a genius. But
Yeah.
that being said, so much was made about how you viewed the inequitable balance relative to FedEx Cup points and things like that. And my NFL tie-in here is I'm sure you're aware of the tush push that I cover the Cowboys, so the Eagles are
Yep.
horrible. But the tush push I have always viewed as capitalization of a market inefficiency. To put it very bluntly, like you can argue about whether you think it's cool or aesthetic or whatever the case may be. And so as it comes or as it relates to golf, what is a market inefficiency in terms of the physical game that you feel like you capitalize on? I don't know if that question makes sense.
No, that's a good question. I've never been asked that question. Um,
I'll
that's
vamp for you for a second. Like
yeah,
as I was thinking about it, I thought like it might be applying some level of control to the wind. Like that was why I thought of it because of your quote last week. Like there's
yeah.
something that the professionals do obviously significantly better than the average player. But what is something that maybe you have over the course of your life thought like I'm just going to lean into this or I'm going to go low here or something that is unconventional but is capitalizing on a potential flaw in the system, if that makes sense.
Um, well, I will say it's not necessarily a flaw in the system. It's information that's available to everyone.
I love this
But
already.
I have a stats and strategy guy, and these guys are becoming more and more popular. When I hired him, he was actually a teammate of mine in a Walker Cup, played for Vanderbilt, played professionally for a couple of years. But when I got on tour, I hired him, and what he does is he analyzes the shot link data. Shot link data basically tracks every single shot that's hit on the PGA Tour. And he would help me create stats and strategy for specific golf courses, for specific hole locations and wind directions. And so one that would inform my practice. So if everybody misses the same putt from the same direction to the same hole location, he would flag that, and that's when we would practice in a practice round. And maybe it does something different than what the eye sees. And
Right.
then, take another scenario. You're in the left rough on hole 10 and the pin's in the back right. If you're not able to hit the green, should I aim for the left bunker or for the right rough? Which one's going to,
Right.
yield a better scoring average? So I feel like I gain an edge there. And it might only be one or two shots a tournament, but those one or two shots a tournament, if they save me, half a shot, three quarters of a shot along the way, that's well worth it. So I would say I find an edge that way in just analyzing historical data on how players have played golf courses.
I love that so much. And the physical swing to, dilute things down is what
Mhm.
you have obviously mastered in a significantly different way than most human beings.
Mhm.
And so processing that information ahead of time, I'm sure
Mhm.
also saves you time in terms of being prepared for what is going to be there. Like that's the advantage of history. That's the advantage of data and analytics. So I love that answer. Mav,
Mhm.
you're the man. Congratulations on the extended family. Really just, enjoy, soak up every single second. Kudos to your brother for carrying this amazing bag in a
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him, I suppose, if you want to
Mhm.
send extend it to him. But thank you so much and have an incredible season. Really rooting for you.
You got it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.